So let's see if we have anybody waiting for us downstairs. I know I have that thing to sing karaoke. I don't know if I'm feeling it. I kind of am. I should have done it earlier. It just hadn't really felt like a right time for it.
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you.
I did, thank you. Big improvement. You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from gunfire. I give credit where credit's due, and that, sir, was a nice shot. I was watching until you hit him. Crawled inside then. Bullets started flying. Anyway, he clears his throat. I wish you a quick recovery. Also, he raises his finger. You and your partner are staying here free now. This establishment supports cops. The stay is free, the drinks are not, he adds. Just felt like I needed to specify that. Where'd everyone go? You know. He looks around the empty place. People don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business. What happened to the man with his sunglasses? Shakes his head. I don't remember everyone who comes here, and many people wear sunglasses inside it lately. Must be a fad. Okay, so I have to mention, when it happened, you were right out there, on the balcony. Yeah, I was. He nods, trying to remain aloof. That's because I'm a badass. Yeah, I guess you are a badass. Yeah, I don't know. He feels the need to explain himself. Clients were panicking, and also, I sort of found out that I don't give a shit if I die. He means it. It's not just boasting, it's something he discovered about himself. Stepping out onto that balcony. Alright, thanks. Goodbye. What is it about the way he carries himself? Nothing. It's okay. Oh, these guys are not having a good day. Seeing you approach, the bruised man raises his beer in welcome.
Crazy motherfucker. Didn't think you had that fury in you, but I guess I've misjudged a lot of people lately. That was one hell of a shot. Hell of a shot. The fucks did not expect that.
Looks at you with with unmistakable respect.
I guess what I'm trying to say here is thank you for intervening, fellas. That was mighty brave of you.
He extends a hand. This is big. As big of a thank you as Titus Hardie can muster under any circumstances. I superstarred the shit out of that. Dick Mullen on steroids. A sad smile passes over his bruised face. Glenn would have liked you had he gotten to... Never mind. There's a lump in his throat when he thinks of Glenn, lying in the plaza mosaic, bleeding. Sorry about the people you lost. His bruised face stiffens. Theo was old. I think he'd be pretty happy with the way he went. Never could imagine him withering away on a sick bed. But Angus, he gulps. He was just a stupid kid. Didn't realize the mess he'd gotten into. Trusted me. Still, the balls on that kid. Went down fighting for someone else's shit like a fat, angry bear. Here it comes. The last one is the worst one. He only deals with it by drinking copious amounts of 8% beer. And Glenn was my friend. Best I ever had. Love that crazy homo like my own brother. He takes a sip of his beer. We're all left without him, but what do you do? His job is shit. What about that Shanky fella? Dennis, you saw him run. He's a mean little shit and I never trusted him. Shakes his head. You better run real fast now. Real fast. They were good people. I'm sorry it went that way. Or it went like that. Oh yeah, memento mori, right? What does that mean? Means you might die tomorrow, so live every day like it's your last. Ain't that right, fellas? Absolutely. Today I'm going to get drunk, eat food, and bed a good-looking gal. 'Cause tomorrow a motor carriage might run me over. Or you might die of a heart failure. Or syphilis. Hey, F you for ruining a beautiful idea. It's gonna happen to the Hardie Boys now. First, we're gonna find Dennis. I'm gonna find Dennis, he interjects. I'm gonna find him, then I'm going to kill him. The tone of this statement is so matter-of-fact, it's as though he were talking about picking up a morning newspaper on his daily walk around the block. It's not gonna bring back. He nods without really listening. We're hunting that rat down. Let it be known what happens to cowards, and then he thinks for a moment. I guess I'll take a closer look at our union members. There's bound to be some ambitious fellows here who love nothing more than advancing social democracy by busting some heads. I might even ask Tibbs if he's tried replacing windows, and maybe if he wants to have some fun with his brother. He pauses. Anyway. Oh, if he's tired of replacing windows. And so he wants to recruit his brother. Anyway. Don't you worry. As long as Titus Hardie's standing, there will be Hardie Boys. He's right. The numbers are replaceable. In an organization of thousands of men, there are plenty who join. Do you know what happened to Claudia? Dunno, don't care. I'll be glad if I never see that effing woman again. Titus, after all we've been through, level with me. You really liked her, didn't you? Nope. He did. Same here, man. He shrugs and tries to look uninterested. Any idea what I should do now? Judging by the sight of you, he looks at your bandages. I'd suggest crawling into bed with a bottle of whiskey in one hand and big tit in the other. Yeah, go pay Monica a visit in Jamrock. She's got a knack for making men forget about their worries. Biggest pair of milkers in all of Revachol. Wow. Well, you both look like you could use some feminine company right now. Thank you for advice, Eugene, and you too, Elaine. I always appreciate good use of the expression milkers. It sincerely amuses him how hard these guys typecast themselves. You're welcome, Binoculard. Titus's response is completely unironic. You're all right in my book. So long, fellows. Be good, so I don't have to come back here again. Take care, coppers, he says with a warm smile. You two look after yourselves now. Death passed on you today, but men don't get that lucky twice. Lane nods to you, and then to the lieutenant. Capo Loco, and a normal cop, I guess. Good luck in Jamrock. Scars make the best tattoos, they say. Thanks for getting involved, guys. Not a lot of cops would step in the line of fire, but you did. And if you ever feel like the uniform is holding you back, I've got a few vacancies. You'd make one Hardie Boy copper. And Titus Hardie himself would make a good officer. That man was born to lead. RCM could really use a man like you, Titus. Think about it. I will, Capo. That's a promise. He puts his can down. Now scoot, because the Hardie Boys got some morning and drinking to do. Take it easy on the drink. The danger is not yet past. The town needs you on your feet. Good point, Binoculard. Hardie looks at his beer. We'll keep the volume under 12% tonight. Oh, I can talk to Elaine.
Hey, it's you again. I've been thinking about it, and you know what? We're both cops. This city is big enough for 2 cops. Okay, 3 cops. Me, you, and your little friend here.
That was kind of cute. Sort of. I mean, tragic. The worst part is, though, talking to them, it took me forever to remember who Glenn was. He was the guy with the curly, longer hair. Un jour, je serai de retour, près de toi. This is ominous. One day I'll return to your side. The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. The smell of blood and heavy fuel oil. This is Cindy the Skull. Looks like Cindy the Skull finally found the words for her masterpiece. The lieutenant crouches, touching the fuel oil with a finger. Looks like it, yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday. Smell heavy fuel oil. And blood, and some of it's even yours. Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable? What are you trying to imply at, Fingers? You could buy some smokes, light up a ciggy, and throw it on there. You know, just to see what happens. See if it's flammable. It's better that way. Safer. I don't think so. Alright. Not that I have too much to care about, but we should probably do a victory lap.
Everyone says you stop started crying in the middle of a firefight and then bled like a pig. I guess that was cool.
I guess that's true. Cool, cool, cool. He nods along. It's very cool to Kuno. Just don't think because you got half your dick shot off and you're an invalid now, Kuno's gonna treat you different. Kuno doesn't reward weakness, he says, looking at your pathetic limp. It's business as usual with Kuno. Kuno's cold like that. Feels good for some reason. Okay, I'm off. Watch out, pig. It's a dangerous world out there. But Kuno's got his eyes on you. What's that supposed to mean? Kuno starts doing the I got my eye on you gesture repeatedly. Who knows? Alright. I don't really care. So, by the way, one factor that I've been sitting on for a while. I don't think I really talked about this, but if Kim gets shot, because there's a couple of points where Kim can get shot. I don't know if he dies, but I know he can get shot and leaves the party effectively. One thing that you can do is actually recruit Kuno instead. Oh god. My injured leg is hopefully not going to hold me back here. Did she leave? I was going to ask her about her graffiti. Alright. Well, that's one thing off the list. There's not really a whole lot of people that I even want to talk to at this point, nor does the game really necessitate that sort of thing. I feel like... I don't know. Let's go back to what I was saying. So if Kim gets shot, you can actually recruit Kuno as your partner for the rest of the game, which isn't much, but it's still kind of interesting all the same. Pigs go home. Yeah, everybody's gone. I guess it makes sense. Jump jams. Yeah, I've already read those. Reet. Sick. BTs. How idiomatic. Yeah, so by clicking every one of these circles every day, we get EXP. It's actually quite amusing. Guess we might as well talk to him. The Boidero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes. Danger comes with the Boidero lifestyle, right? He shrugs. There are types of danger. The one I'm usually concerned with is lung cancer, or getting mauled by wildlife, not bullets. It calls back to an older era where this was commonplace, though. You have a true Boidero heart. Right, so where is everyone? Hiding, gathering themselves. The harbor's on full lockdown, friend. No getting in or out, for the time being. You can't help me get inside? No, man, not today. Today is war. He says it matter-of-factly, like it's no big deal. What's gonna happen next? Time will tell, he shrugs. I'll tell Everett you dropped by. I'm sure he'll be glad. What will you be doing now? I'll be okay here. Doing lookout. He surveys the red flags. Draped from the harbor gates. Worth the sight, aren't they? Getting to like that, Red, I am. Don't worry about me. I live to alleviate the worries of our brothers. See if any other insane killers show up. Then I'll run. And live. Well, try not to get shot, eh? I'm sure I'll be luckier than you, friend. He grins as his grin is as wide as the desert. Oh. That's not a power box. It's just a box. It's just a box with a $1.10 in it. That's been a stupid red herring for me, like, this entire freaking time. Notice, in case of strike, press button behind guard. Well, I guess it's time to get out of here. I could do a lot of things, but I don't want to. I know I can sing karaoke, and I probably should, but I think no matter what, it feels weak, inferior somehow, to what happened in the church. I should probably still do it if I get the chance, but still.
Almost, kind of, sort of alive.
Alive and limping. Man, what a day. I missed out on most of the action, but I heard it was quite the encounter, he nods thoughtfully. Had a strong sense of finality to it. So what's next? You guys heading back to Jamrock? Now, talk is local union muscle were behind it all. I'd reckon the case is closed, even if it kind of turned into a shit show. It wasn't the local union muscle, by the way. Hey, that's just what I heard. Old wives' tale. So what's next? I'm still looking around. Loose threads to tie up. Good luck with that, my man. Ain't easy being you. But hey, you're still breathing, right? Met the lady driver on my investigation. She's called Ruby. Okay, he seems a little apprehensive. Is it wise to share information about the case like this, sire? Lieutenant throws you a quick glance. What are you doing? That's it. Can't share anymore. Probably for the best. You keep your job to yourself. With a job like yours, you have to. I love it how we still have all these begging options, even though they're not at all useful to me. Go talk to him.
Mon Dieu, officer. It is worse than I thought. Believe me, I know all about that kind of pain. I've had heat trouble for the past week. Oh, maybe it's time to slow down. Anything I can do to assist you?
Shame I couldn't talk to him more. But I guess we're not done yet. We're getting there. We're getting real close. It doesn't really seem like there's much finality to talking to these people, so let's just finish this game off. I say that as though I'm tired of it, but in reality, I have been enjoying this series start to finish. And I think I will continue to for long after I've finished. I think there's still a lot of things that I wish they had done. It's a little unsatisfying to be playing a mystery game where you can't actually find the killer in the course of your investigation. Because I think it would have actually been really cool if the killer, like, was moving around and doing stuff and every day had, like, a different thing happen. But in the same way, the military tribunal being the bottleneck before the plot finishes was fine. And it was kind of interesting proving the not murder of, hey, these guys didn't do it. But still. I guess I should save. Somebody will get that reference.
Officer, what happened? You're limping. Why are you limping? You look terrible.
You're not limping, you're you. She sounds almost disappointed with you, reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee. You seem angry. Why?
Look at you. You can barely walk.
It's nothing.
Doesn't look like nothing. Looks like you got banged up real good. What happened to you anyway? We heard gunshots from the town. They were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on the Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
You didn't only get shot. I dodged the second shot. I can also not get shot.
Well, good for you.
She smiles. I got questions
Of
for you.
course. Can I help you with something?
We need to get to that island. That won't be a problem. It's wind still, and the tar just dried. She points to her skiff next to the jetty. We got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead. Can we borrow your boat? If you promise to bring it back, and no scrape in the hull. I just got it nice and yellow, and no drinking on the boat. Her eyes narrow, and no joyriding either. Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official police business. Aye, she nods. Nod along attentively. Crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you. What's on the island? Nothing, just ruins. Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war. The communards. An anti-aircraft gun, I think. Bombed to bits in the landing. I've been there myself. Always steer clear of it. Hasn't been there herself. Who has been? You said you haven't been there yourself. Who has been then? If not you. My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know? My mother told me. This must be one of the many fortifications that was used in the dying days of the Revolution, against the coalition forces before they took the city. She looks around. The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do. On rafts. I tell them not to go, but they bring back old bullet casings and such. Which kids? The twins. She points to the two kids playing on the concrete yard. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge. Can we maybe ask your twins about the place before we go? Would that be alright? Be my guest, she looks at the boys. They have a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do. Anything I should know about getting there? Well, most of it's sunken, underwater. It means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're not careful. Be sure to enter from the south side. Water's deep there. Aye aye, Captain. Thank you. We'll use your skiff to get there then. She nods. Please be conservative with fuel, will you? I just filled her up, but it's a small tank. Be seeing you. Go talk to the twins. This is the game that never ends, but that's okay. I don't know. What's up?
Our tenant, the police.
I'm not gonna go around saying I got shot to everybody. That's just mean. Okay, kids. You've been to that island, right? On that island, the one who's busy sticking stone points to the bay? Yes, that one. I need to know what's there. That's, nothing? The boy pauses to think with his finger in his mouth. It's just a sea fort and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great. And the other one butts in. We make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. The brother nods. Gather the sticks for the fire and bullets, or not real bullets, empty bullets. Bullet shells. There are a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be important. Wait, you mean shells? I don't know what those are. What then? They're lights. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out. Your nerve endings string for the mention of a guy. They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off. Someone lives on the island. No, the boy answers, shaking his head vehemently. Brother looks at him, then you. Yes, he says. Lieutenant raises his eyebrows and whips out his notebook. Let's go with yes. Why is he the fire guy? Because the boy pauses to think. Because he asked to put the fire out. Why does he ask you to put the fire out? I don't know. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like people to be there. You shouldn't go. Yes, the other one adds laconically, standing with his hands glued to his sides like a little tin soldier. Because he doesn't want to be found. Smoke traces. You mentioned something about lights. One of them, it's hard to tell which one now starts. I don't know. Did you mean there are electrical lights? He points to the street light. Yes. The boy looks at his toes. Is there anything else you can tell me about this guy? Does he live there? No, he doesn't live there, I don't think. No, he lives there. The other nods. He's been there twice, 2 times. Huh. The first one pauses to think and then comes to some kind of conclusion. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes. Anything else? What does the guy look like? I don't know. They say almost in unison. How come? We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there. Your father used to go to that island too, didn't he? Our father killed himself. Don't say that. He didn't. His brother punches him. The boy's eyes well up. He's about to start crying. Let's say nothing. I'm sorry, the one says to the other, rubbing his brother's shoulder affectionately. Is that all you know? Is there anything more you can tell me about that island? The boy says, rubbing his eyes. Clear he has no intention of finishing the sentence. Lights, fire guy, the lieutenant looks at you. We should check up on that island. It's part of the thing, like, I almost wish we could find out about that earlier. Because it would be really interesting to subvert a huge plot point by just being thorough.
Be careful out.
Okay, is her boat at the end? Yeah, there it is. A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle and you're off to the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now? Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this. You take the engine, Kim. I'll hold the boombox. What? What? How else do we blast sad FM on our way to the island? Fine. He gives you a resigned shrug. Let's blast Sad FM then. Sad FM is a radio station specializing in sad, slow rock songs. You seem to know its frequency by heart. Get in and ride to the island. I like these two. They're fun. You even got the boombox. Oh, that's a magic little moment there.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Want to be want to
You mean to tell me we didn't see this island on the horizon and think maybe we should check that out earlier? Also, that's fuel just leaking out. Or oil. Or both. The boat comes to a slow stop. Kim turns the engine off. Then there's silence. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance. There is very little wind here today. The ghost is standing still. You look at your arms, then the cliffs above you. Let's go, he whispers. You climb out. Alright. Time to save, time to look at stuff. Makeshift bridge. The bombs are powerful enough to break the foundation. Busted chain trails off into the ocean. Chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast. This leads to the depot on the land's end. Lieutenant looks at the mechanism overhead. Oh yeah, so it seems. What do you think it was used for? For bringing munitions to the island, maybe. And supplies. You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain. As a defensive measure, locking off that side of the bay. Lock it from whom? From enemies. He looks up ahead. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. The sea fort was the revolutionary fortification, I believe. These tires are falling apart. They're 50 years old. There's something over there to look at, but I can't get to it. Music here is lovely. Damn it. Trying to click on the thought. These stairs feel ancient. Soldiers' feet ran up them long ago. Attention, inflammable. Some fuel has leaked out of the barrel. Black, viscous. Fun fact, inflammable and flammable quite literally mean the same thing. I don't know how this happened, but they do. Everybody thinks inflammable means can't burn, but that's false. The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea. What's that flutter? Flock of quail departs, now more than 100 meters away. 102. 105. Underneath the flutter? On the islet, there's almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds, bulrushes swaying in the waterline, long dried leaves chafing against each other. Like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work, of great importance to the few who attend. To the west, a silent hiss, sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree. To the east, far away from the city, distant like today's dream, before it, the sound of sand, the low tide filtered through its grains, a bird tending to its feathers. Ahead, a low hum, the air moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating hollow, a big building. Beyond that, further north, air flows out of a pillbox window. There's very little here. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence, reeds motionless, bulrushes motionless. Below the silence, a jitter, a sound impatient to happen, but not yet in this world. You hear some kind of limb fidget, producing an imperceptible tick. No, it's just your imagination. You can't hear such things. Kim. Yes? Have you noticed how quiet it is? I have. And that's why we're stopping? Wait, I have to listen to one more thing. Warm air from the inside of the building. It's warmer there than out here. Barrel says ICM. You see a star with little specks on it. ICM. This feels familiar somehow. Kim, what's ICM? Insulidian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communards Army. The Black and White Army of the Revolution. Black and White Army of the Revolution. Sounds an awful like RCM. It sounds like RCM. Revishal's Citizens Militia. It does. Why? The RCM may descend from the ICM. May? It's impossible to say. He looks towards the darkened doorway. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revishal West was mostly workers and criminals. Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. Gonna be hard to say them, carrying around all that weight on a busted crutch, making you pant. It's a little embarrassing in 52 now. Maybe we need a rebrand. No one remembers the ICM. The connotation is less important each year. He bows to inspect the barrel. White star. No, he looks at it. An upside-down star. With its horns in the sky. The symbol of the commune. Are those specks stars, too? No, that's the uninhabited archipelago. A DeLorean-era symbol of the Insulid. Known as the face in the sea. Looks old. What's it doing here? After, he thinks, 44 years? Not really enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Euphrater. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city's full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel. I've been to Bosnia, and it is interesting. I mean, admittedly, it was only like 20 years since the fall of Yugoslavia, but still. Was it Yugoslavia? Yeah. No way to get up there. The stairs are gone. Not even with teleportation. And I can't get to any of this stuff. It was Yugoslavia. But when that all fell apart, everybody was putting mines everywhere, shelling buildings, shooting. It was awful. And yeah, going to Bosnia, there's still a lot of that stuff left around, which surprised me. I figured, more efforts would have been made to clean it up, but I guess it's really hard to do that. Especially if there's explosives involved. Which is horrifying. This is once an armament rest. Twin cannons were attached here. Medium distance, large caliber. Oh, I'm up above. Careful, these stairs have collapsed. Books, mostly fantastique and historical fiction. An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right. Lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth. Cold now, he concludes, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring's been repaired. Where do the wires lead? He looks at the wall socket, downstairs somewhere. What kind of generator is this? Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout. He points to the open fuel cap on the side of the dynamo. The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter. Long and cold. If someone stayed here, they'd need a generator. Tap the side. Hollow ring. The canister is empty. Dust falls from the generator and falls down into the ammo lift. What does this mean? A generator here? I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. It's the idea of his joke. I am. This generator proves the universe's material. A small agony, minuscule bones may have fractured, but it proves the point. Ouch. He nods approvingly. He even smiles. I mean, why is it here? Someone with basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm. Maybe it's the fire guy. The wind outside picks up suddenly with a faint howl. Inside is warm. Dishes stained with sauce and fire. A survivor's kitchen. You see candles planted on a broken range finder. Oh, it's an AA gun. I thought for a second there was a rifle mounted there. A moth-bitten sheet. Keeps the wind out. Fallen arrower shirt. There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of softcover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under the worn-out, cackled blanket. Someone's been squatting here, the lieutenant inspects the bed. The linen is fresh, recently washed. How recently? You force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak. You know, officer, he looks at you with a touch of concern. You can rest here if you're feeling tired. I'll keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead. No time to rest now. Yes, any time. If you need any rest later, it's okay by me. You don't have to be a hero. Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor on a makeshift cupboard. They're not particularly well organized. Sift through them. Most are softcovers, serialized fantastique, and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic animal adventures. Popular depictions of man versus nature by amateur naturalist T.N.T. Harpett. Husband and wife. Widely read by people from all walks of life. Who doesn't like nature? Who doesn't want to survive? Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine, cathodique, for electrical engineering, then it's back to pulp, light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders. Someone made themselves at home. The lieutenant inspects a soft cover. Does anything stand out as unusual? Not that you can tell. This is the digest of someone who's dead bored, most of it for entertainment purposes. Fittingly, right next to the radiola on the floor. Nothing out of the ordinary? Maybe it's a little old-fashioned. There's a nude mag. More than that, you can't say. The print in some of these is pretty small, though. Person has good eyesight. Army surplus winter scarf. Frogs. More things. Great blast door must weigh over 10 tons. Rust peels off of it. You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door. There's a conventional keyhole above the handles. It's very small. What's on the other side? Another part of the island, probably. The lieutenant looks into the keyhole. Lock looks like it could still be usable. How do we open this? He looks at the door, then at its bigger brother, and then a lock. Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open. He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door. You're right. We opened the big one. Do you see the controls anywhere? I think there's a console just southeast. He shuffles his feet to stay warm. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best option. Okay, what else do we have around here? Not much. Oh, we got a couple of things. Hatch is jammed shut. Water rushes below, far down below. Green paint flakes off the monoblock aluminum cabinet. There are rows of switches in the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard. Run your fingers across the keyboard. Keys rattle like teeth. The keyboard hasn't been functional in decades. What's this then? Console of an antique computation device. The lieutenant points to the wires running into the machine. The generator upstairs with wires coming out. They terminate here. Could we use this to open the blast door? Possibly. Inspects the dials. Urgence. Overt. Overt? A lumiere. Radio diffuse. Sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does. Device is used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function as a radio computer. Turn emergency open. Nothing happens. We need to restore power using this, officer. The generator. He looks upstairs. It didn't look like there was fuel in it. Then he looks into the dim light to his right. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it. The boat engine. Not in agreement. Push light interior. Radio dial. Dial slides under the glass silently. You make out defunct stations on the UKV frequency. The words "Fell to Insular" are written on the band. An idea lightens up in your head. Maybe we could contact Suna, the programmer lady. She could open the door for us remotely. Lieutenant inspects the indicator. An air gap system. Off air, I think they call it. That won't work. You sure? No, I'm not. But it would not be very good military technology if a programmer ladies could control it remotely. Also, it's ancient. Incompatible. You are no fun, Kim. But that's part of the reason why I like you. Because when you are fun, it's real fun. Aranya and Clausia. I finally kind of remembered that. Took forever, but still. A firing slit. You can't see inside. Must have taken a direct hit to take out such a large chunk. Hold on. Distant sound of cargo ships. Signal horns echo the water. I love this sound effect. I love this tree. I don't know. The trees in this game have been very nice to look at. I think a lot of it is because everything is kind of hand-modeled or even painted in a lot of cases. And so I don't know, just everything is kind of just a painting in and of itself. The winch is broken. Rust has eaten what remains of the chain. The depot that supplied this chain is long gone from the coast. Inside of the fortress, you make out the console on the blast door. The pain in your pelvis makes you wince. Then you continue. Weathered artillery map showing coordinates of the Bay of Revachol. Old medicine cabinet, newly restocked with Dramamine. LUM fuel canister. It's worth a lot. And a bed. There's a rain-soaked mattress on the concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall. D triple prime. The lieutenant lowers his voice, stepping closer with his hand on his gun. This looks like a good place to shoot from. Inspect the mattress. Single person mattress, modern civilian use. Brand name Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns. And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts. Pick one out of the can. Silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand Motiri. Saw the same brand of cigarettes extinguished at Land's End. Could be a coincidence, or the same person has visited Land's End and he looks around here. Didn't see any signs of smoking inside though. People lived here. They kept it tidy. This here may have also been a smoking spot. Back the wall. There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you. A little window. Touch the concrete first. Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anyone other than the rain. Look through the hole in the concrete. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation, a tingling feeling on your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline. Ooh, that's cool. Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting, 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar. On the left, a towering skyscraper. Its top floor is shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside Apartments, Rue de Saint Lane, 33A and 33B. On the right, are the red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the Whirling in Rags. Rue de Saint Lane 10, the doomed commercial area. And between the two, the box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling in Rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop. The upstairs window of Clausia's room in the rain, reflecting the light. There it is. Do you have a line of sight to the window? More than that. Kim, with a pair of binoculars, I'd be able to see inside the room. A pair of binoculars, or a scope of a rifle. He points to the makeshift bed. You'd be prone, lying on the mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure. Cheek taut against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger. A calm day like this? Kim, I could make it. I could make the shot. Good. He pats you on the back. 3 pats in small pats in a row. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest. Affirmative. Why didn't we come here before? Why? We don't go everywhere in a 1,000-meter radius from the crime scene. That's not procedure. 6 people are dead. Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands, or get them drunk. Lieutenant pauses. Regret comes over him. He looks north, over the fortification, then adds, We'll make up for it. Here, I feel it. Could the shooter still be here? Where? He looks behind his back. On this island. He does not answer, just nods, with his back hunched. He looks around once more and says, We should move, now. This is super good. Oh, purple thought. You feel eyes on your back. Someone's watching, but you can't say where. I really want to see the studio make more games. I think this game did well enough that they'll probably make another one. I think they expressed interest in it. I know it's certainly one of those, like, games that everybody has been talking about as, like, oh my god, this game is good. And I agree with them. It is pretty dang good. Put the fuel into the tank. Lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical spell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch. Pull the rope. The recoil wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle. That should do it. Okay. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm gonna save and we're going to see about those books. Okay, so we wanted conceptualization. Really? Well, I've got a lot of skill points, so there's no real reason why I can't. Where did I pick up all these skill points? I have no idea. I don't think there's a whole lot that I have that boosts conceptualization, unfortunately. But that's okay, it's like one of my highest stats. Still wish I could actually... Let's see. No, that's it. Still wish I could actually, what was I gonna say? I mean, switch these around in the middle of dialogue, but still. I don't know, there's a lot of things that I wish I could actually do. Oh, right, I also wish I could actually sort clothing based on the bonuses they give. Like, if they had little symbols on them, oh, that'd be nice. Anything standard is unusual. Really? Oh yes, under the bed there's a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour life-not-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Auzia. Not exactly light reading. Look, Kim, a book. Left wing. I have no comments. Do you? Uizia. Uzia, maybe. He enunciates the word diligently. Humanitarian sciences. Stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around Revachol West anymore. Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke him. Wasn't there some in the communist students' room? A student in the apartment building seemed to have some as well. Well, yes, that one student did. Little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous entertainment covering them. Critical theory books, what do you think this means? Again, I'm not a philosopher, but whoever lived here, they have some education and a certain set of interests. Interesting. Okay, emergency open. The blast door opens with a series of clicks. Shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in. That's a little bit more than a series of clicks. After you, the lieutenant gestures at the opening. Before, outside, when we were walking across the stand, I felt someone watching me. So did I. Not back there, but I felt it ever since we came here. What's there? I don't know. A thin wisp of smoke rises from the charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again. What if we get into another fight? Don't worry, he takes out his sidearm, checks the barrel, and holsters it. Again, I have a gun. I also have a gun. I know. It's not easy. It was not easy to acquire. Oh, I love these characters. They're so good. I almost want to play some more CRPGs where you only have, like, 1 or 2 companions max. And they're really well written. Like, I love Mass Effects. There's some really cool things there. But the cast always did feel a bit big for me, especially with, you know, each game adding a couple more. Like, it actually might have been kind of nice if they just had 2 companions that were with you at all times and were really well written.